Oh, let me do the mannequin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Majestic Mayhem. I'm one of your hosts, Death Dealer.
I'm a hot mama.
And I'm Cozy Beluga.
And today we're going to be discussing Nintendo games because who doesn't love Nintendo? Who hasn't played at least one Nintendo game? And it's the good stuff. Bring you back to your childhood.
It's going to be
Just
so
in time.
cool. It's going to be so cool hearing everybody's picks because I think that from like where I didn't play a lot of things growing up, but I got to see things, and I do a lot of looking at Nintendo games that it's like they created the culture. So I like to look at people's picks and be like, oh, cool. So I'm like really excited to hear what you guys are like. What do you guys think? Because I respect you guys as gamers. So I'm like, oh, what do you guys got?
Okay. Well, let's say hi to the chat real quick. We've got Dreadpool in. Hey. Oh, Zebra Paul. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Paul.
3-bit. Hi. And that's all I see so far, but I'm sure there's a lurker or two in the background. So hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Majestic Mayhem.
Oh, all right. I guess we will jump right into it with the first few picks then. Miss Cozy, I'll let you go first.
Oh, come on.
Do it. Drop it on.
I got games for days. I can pick out multiple games.
So let's drop
I'm honestly going to do this go with like the most obscure of my faves. Well, not most obscure if you're into like a lot of Nintendo games, but to start off, I'm going to start with Kid Icarus. If you know nothing of Kid Icarus, that game was ridiculously hard. And the thing is, it was like the only game that, and like I played that. I would play my brain.
You're cool.
Duck Hunt, and I would play this Sesame Street game, and those were like the 3 games I would when I was allowed. And the reason I played Kid Icarus mostly was because there was also the Game Boy sequel, and so if I wasn't allowed to play because it would be hogged by my brothers, then I would just play on his Game Boy and play the sequel. And the thing is, like 5-year-old me could beat both those games. I tried that game like many years later, and I was like, how, absolutely how, because it is not an easy game. And my other favorite part about it is, so I didn't really play much Nintendo and get systems, and then one of the reasons I got another Nintendo system was because they released a Kid Icarus game on the 3DS, and I was like, what? Kid Icarus? This is happening? This is real? Yeah, so Kid Icarus.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I've never heard anything about Kid Icarus, and I'm immediately like, excuse me. Icarus.
I gotta be honest, I haven't heard of that one either.
I
haven't heard of that one either.
If you've seen Smash, you probably recognize
I've seen the
Pit.
character.
You probably recognize Pit.
I've seen the character, but from where, like, I don't know many Nintendo characters.
Okay.
It's not, I can't really tell what games they're from, you know? This is neat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny. Oh, hi, Snack Pisces.
Oh.
Welcome, darling.
Oh.
Hi. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to work this. I've never done this with the iPhone. And like, I just want to make it easier for our sweet, sweet producer. And I'm afraid I'm making it worse. So I'm
It'll-
just gonna like do this when I'm not talking.
It'll be better in the future, like when they have like Futurama style iPhones, and it'll be so much easier.
Oh yeah, just give it a little while. We were supposed to have flying cars. I don't know
The
what
actual
happened to that.
iPhones.
And they realized the logistics of that was awful.
I guess so. But all right, okay. So my first one that I'll be discussing is Super Mario 3. Gotta love that guy. He was so cute. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Can't tell me he wasn't adorable. Mine's not obscure, I know, but still an awesome game. It was one of my favorites growing up. Is I believe the first time Mario turned into the flying raccoon guy on any of the games. It was the first time he transformed that way. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it. You can't not love that. It's so cute.
What year is that
Yes.
from? Like around? Which
Ooh, it is from. Let me see. Let me pull
I
that
don't
up because I really don't
understand
know. I know it's
Mario.
1990 something.
90s. Okay. See, I don't understand Mario lore. So does
Mhm.
it go like in a does he have like is it a forever thing? Like does he work in chapters? Or do you have to have
Um,
played the first game to like understand his other games?
You just
no. Oh, thank God, no. No, you
Okay,
just
I
jump
don't
get
on
know.
on and play.
things. You just
Okay, so
jump.
he's just okay, he's like a character that you just can be and he is Mario.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we have Vic the MF Clip. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay. See, Dred knows the Kid Ludicrous. Even had the ROB robot that you hooked up to the second controller. Oh, so Dreadpool's played that one. Okay. So it's not as obscure. Although Dreadpool's played a lot of games, so I can't really say that.
There's like I don't remember like 20 maybe years between the sequel. What's the sequels? So it was a long time.
All right, see, Super Mario 3 was remade for the NES as part of the Super Mario All Stars in '93, and for the Game Boy Advance as Super Mario 4 Advanced Super Mario Brothers 3 in 2003. So I guess they've re-released it a few different times because they've re-released it on the Wii U, the 3DS, NES Classic Mini, and they even released one on the Nintendo Switch Online in 2018. I don't know how I missed that one. I probably played it on there and just don't remember. This is one of my favorite games. But no, with the Mario games, that's one of the good things about Mario. You don't have to ever play any of the other games. You just jump on. It's self-explanatory. It's a new story with every game, just about. I mean, you always got to save the princess, but for the most part, you don't have to play any of the other games to understand what you're doing, which is
Yep.
nice.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Well, then that makes Mario more accessible to me because I don't know why I was under the impression that you had to start from the beginning. Like he's some like I don't know. I don't know. Well, thank
The other
you for letting me
thing
know this.
to know is you depending on the games, like it's like he is sort of like the mascot. So he's in a game, but that game like they have like, the Mario World, they have like Mario Land, they have like but they have other things that are Mario in them, but they're not the same style of game.
Mhm.
Okay. See,
So Mario RPG is an RPG.
Yeah.
you guys have just explained so much that has confused me about Nintendo. Like I don't know how to say thank you because I've always just been like, well, guess I don't get to play Mario because like I never played the first.
Yeah, so all their like a lot of their stuff, they'll make a game and then they'll slap a character on that game, characters on that game.
Oh.
So the mechanics are not necessary or can be independent of the game,
Okay.
of the characters.
Hmm.
This is
Yeah.
genius. Well, thank you for letting me know this. Thank you. That's all. And I really like your picks.
Thank
I
you.
love whenever I talk to you guys because I just learn so much.
There we go. We've got Super Paul. It says Mario is Mario. No ongoing story really, except the princess is always getting captured. I think she was just putting out and playing Mario. There's actually a cartoon that somebody did somewhere that has that fan point going on. Hi, Axel from Iconic Video Games.
Woo,
She says,
woo.
I love Super Mario Brothers. Of course. And then Vic says, where is it? Princess needs to stop leaving the castle. Poor Mario. He'd be doing the most to save her. Yeah, I agree.
If you don't leave your castle, you will get kidnapped. Yes.
Wow.
Agoraphobic. Hot take. Yes. Don't leave your house and nobody will take you. I agree.
It's funny. I understand though. I get it. Sometimes it's best to stay inside the house.
Inside is where
I
the
can't
good food
disagree.
is.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I guess we'll skip right along to the next one. Next choice, Miss Cozy.
What? It's just the two of us?
I'll do one.
What? Oh, you got one? Okay, let's hear
I
it,
will
Mama.
do one.
Okay,
Because
let's hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna do one. Okay, here we go. My pick for a favorite Nintendo game is
Mhm.
Animal Crossing, and I
That's
and-
great.
but like my reason for picking it is sorry, I was just being stupid. My reason for picking it is because you can do so much with it for like children, for teaching.
Mhm.
And I really think it's a really fun game. If I could figure out how to work Nintendo Direct, I would legitimately go to people's islands and whatever. And I think Cozy, I had talked about this with you like 2 years ago. Like when we first met 2 years ago, I was like, I'll come to your island. And I never figured out how to work Nintendo Direct. I never did it.
It's kind of
It was not easy to understand.
I'm trying to remember. Okay, so to go to someone's island, they have to have their island open. You have to choose the same mode of traveling to their island. Like, you know, you can either use a code or directly open your gates and tell them like, hey, my gates are open, but you can't tell them, you can't communicate with them on the app to be like, my gate, you can't communicate with them unless they're on the app.
Mm-hmm.
To say my gates. I mean, you can communicate with people other ways, but basically,
like in person. But what it,
you can't communicate really easily through the Nintendo system to signify that yes, my gates are open. And it's wild because it was on the 3DS. It was pretty easy. I remember I used to go this thing called island hopping. They had this mystery island, and you go to the mystery island, and and someone else would be on the mystery island and you talk to them, and it would always be wild because sometimes it'd be someone from someplace else in the world. I remember there was this like one time it was me and this French lady, and the thing is we could barely speak to each other, but she was like France and I was like US, and then she was like, see my island, and I was like yes, and I followed her to her island, and I used to do it all night, like just like find people and like take them to my island, go to their island, and it was a fun time. I really miss some of the features on the 3DS and the 3DS version, including being able to use a stylus to draw designs.
Yeah, that sounds good. Do they not have that now?
They don't have it on the Switch version, but you can actually, they actually updated it so that you can draw designs on the 3DS version and transfer them.
Wow. Huh. So you got to be like really hardcore into it though to want to do that though.
Excuse me.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not,
I'm
not a bad thing. It is never a bad thing to like something. I'm just talking about how it's like, oh, I'm really gonna have to use my brain to figure this out, huh?
I
Like,
have Animal Crossing fabric somewhere that I still need to turn into
that's
something.
so cute.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's too funny. I've got to be honest. I didn't really get down on Animal Crossing. I know it was very popular for quite a while, and they even did a version on the computer, right? Didn't they do a version like on like Facebook or something?
They had a mobile version called the Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Pocket Camp, that's what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know a bunch of people that played that. I just never got into it because it reminded me of like Farmville. And I played Farmville for a little while and it
You
was just
played
too much for
Farmville.
me. It was too anxious making. Like, you know,
You're
like
a
if you don't get the
Farmville
crops in time, it like crashes and everything dies off and like
Farmville.
oh.
So I'm actually laughing because because so there was a character in Animal Crossing called Mr. Rossetti. And if you shut off you shut the game off, if you shut without saving, when you came back on, he was this mole and he would yell at you. He would be like yelling at you and little Animal Crossing like talk, but he would be yelling at you like about shutting off the game.
Oh, that's funny.
Without saving. And they got rid of him because I guess because he was too upsetting.
Aw.
But I don't know. The things I like about Animal Crossing are one of them is the music. The fact that they have a different tune for every hour, and it gets like more upbeat as the day goes along, and then gets more down, and it gets like tones itself down as the day gets, as the day after the peak of the day. Also, the fact that they really do have the constellations and the stars placement in the sky.
Okay.
And the moon cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI, that's exactly what I got confused about in Starfield, was because I thought it was like Animal Crossing. So just the fact that you said stars and constellation made me laugh really hard, because I was like, I just had like flashbacks of Starfield and me being like, oh, it's like Animal Crossing time.
So at Starfield is actually a little more confusing because there is a standard time, but because every planet has its own rotation, whatever, there's a standard time, but that standard time isn't going to line up. So if you go to sleep, you'll notice it'll say like, this is how many hours on that planet yours pass. This is how much time has passed on the planet, but this is not how much time has passed universally. So like, you can be on one planet, go to sleep there, and this happened to me and I was confused. And it'll pass like 8 hours. Then you go to another planet and you're like, it's been a few days on that other planet, or it's been like a few hours. It's been like, an hour maybe on another planet.
Okay, so time's kind of fluid depending on where you are.
Yes. Like, a Jupiter day is not going to be, I mean, you can't land on Jupiter, but a day on Europa isn't the same as a day on Mars.
Yeah. And it was like really confusing because if you thought you just all of a sudden were Animal Crossing and then you were like, wait, I was asleep for 5 hours or 5 minutes. Was I asleep at all? Because then you're just standing there in real life and you're like, did I fall asleep? It just gets really confusing.
Yeah, like I was at this planet and I was like, why is it never night on this planet? And then it occurred, and no, it's always night on this planet. And it occurred to me that they had really long day and night cycles. So like I would always just never make it be there long enough for it to be like day. And one time I actually managed to get there during the day and I was like, oh wow. But yeah, I love Animal Crossing a lot.
Like 3-bit commented. Yeah. 3-bit commented, Animal Crossing always made me feel bad. I'd ever take a break. Tom would get mad at me wondering where I've been if
I had someone, so I time traveled and I had someone but I dropped it for a week after I time traveled and I had someone say, oh, where have you been for the last 6 months? And I was like, oh, I forgot I time traveled. And so they
In
were asking
Animal
me,
Crossing?
yeah, they'll ask you
Okay.
if they notice when you're gone. Also, you get roaches in your house too if you.
Yeah.
My
You
favorite,
get
Oh.
roaches.
one of my favorite things is in Animal Crossing. I made a slum, and the rest of my town was really nice, but I put all the villagers that I plan on getting rid of in the slum.
Mhm.
And so someone came to my village and she was like, "Oh, this is such a everything is so nice." And then she wandered into the slum and she was like, oh." She was like, "Oh." Like, bad.
Uh-oh.
I put like garbage bags everywhere. I put like, the appliances. I found like, washer and dryer and I put them
Did you put
outside.
them in the yard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Make
Oh,
it look
that's
like my
I didn't
estate.
take care of any of the weeds. It was. I think I wish I still had
Welcome.
the video. I think I still have a video somewhere, and I should post that again because it was terrible, but it was funny.
I like it.
I don't know if I said hi yet, but Iconic Video Games, Axel's in the
Whoop
room.
whoop!
So hi. I know I said hi in the chat. I don't know if I said it on stream yet. So hi. Thanks for showing up, buddy.
Howdy!
I love that guy. I love his wife. His wife's amazing. But I love doing shows with them Friday nights.
Oh. There we go.
Yeah. So if you guys missed Friday's show on Iconic Video Games, you should definitely check it out because it was entertaining as all get out for us. We had a lot of fun.
Check it
Oh.
out.
Check it out. Ow.
Okay. All
I'm ready
right.
to go
Miss
on.
Hill-
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on Animal
Oh, you're
Crossing and get confused with
do.
time.
We do.
Oh, 3-Bit wants to know what's y'all's favorite Nintendo character. I'm gonna have to go with
Kirby.
Ooh, Kirby's adorable. I love
There's
me some
nothing
Kirby.
not to love about Kirby. Kirby
I
is
love Kirby.
godlike abilities. Kirby is literally one of the strongest entities in the universe.
He is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I'm gonna have to say Yoshi though. I love Yoshi. That little guy right there always amused me. I love Yoshi. That's probably my favorite.
The anxiety, you want to talk about anxiety? Yoshi Island. The most anxious. Oh my goodness, that game. Like I couldn't handle it. I would get very devastated and upset every time baby Mario got, taken, and I would just be like, I quit. I can't handle this. I emotionally cannot handle this.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, we have Sir X-Men has joined. Hey, and his
Howdy.
electric magic carpet. Well, hello.
We know who you are.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Axel, you crack me up. That fat plumber, he's overcharging anyways. He does overcharge probably.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, that's too funny. It is too funny.
I don't know what thing I'd be.
All right, so we'll get into the next one.
Yeah.
You don't have a favorite?
I'd just be like a
Oh,
random bush from
Shrek
Mario.
88.
Huh? I'm a random bush from Mario that like gets in the way. That's what I am. That's it. That's
That's
my
too
favorite
funny.
character. That's me.
Aw.
Okay, I'm good. You go. Let's move on.
All right. I guess I'll go first for this one. I'll go with the newer game for my next choice because I keep going back to it. No matter how many times I've beaten this game, my daughter keeps dragging the console back to me, and I keep replaying the game from beginning to end all over again. I'm going with Super Mario Odyssey.
Aw.
I absolutely love that game. It entertains me.
What
And
is
I like
your
the little
favorite
hat
part about
guy.
it?
I love the fact that his hat's alive in this one, and his hat's actually his sidekick in this one instead of having, anybody else. It's his hat that's his bestie and his sidekick throughout the whole thing. So I like that a lot. And the fact that you get to turn into Bowser at the end of the game is always fun and interesting because you get to be the big version of him munching through the walls and stuff. So that's always fun and entertaining. And if my watch would quit telling me to get up and walk around, I'd be much happier. Dang thing keeps vibrating. Whoever thought this was a good idea? I don't know.
No, you're like, I know I'm resting. Leave me alone.
These Fitbits are no joke, man. They really are like all about making you move and do stuff. It's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
They will. They really will. I love Mario Odyssey because of the sentient hat. And I had so many conversations with Greg about whether the hat had its own thoughts and feelings and what happened to those thoughts and feelings if that whenever Mario was in the hat, if Mario was a hat himself, like did he feel like the hat? And we had a lot of fun conversations because of the hat being a character, and I thought that was really creative and really fun. And
yeah, it was a nice touch.
yeah,
It was something slightly different from what they had done before because of the hat being your partner in the whole game. You throwing your hat at anything, you could turn into that thing just about it. I mean, everything in the game you could turn into. So that was fun because you got to actually be like the Koopas and all that fun stuff. So it was always interesting. And then, of course, the lava world where you get to be the worms that float over the lava and stuff. I don't know how many times I like accidentally stepped myself right into that lava pit, stank like a rock. Oh, hey, Spooky.
Spooky!
what?
But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, very amazing game. Excellent.
I agree.
We can all hate the plumber. All right, Cozy, what's your choice?
I wasn't ready. This is hard.
I'll talk about one.
Okay.
Or two.
Let's hear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you think of yours, Cozy.
Oh no, it's like this is the final pick. I gotta pick something.
Oh, okay.
Is this the final pick?
No, you get two more.
Yeah.
I just did my second. We're doing 3 and 3.
We're on our second.
3, 3, 2.
Oh.
You rascal.
But you talked about yours since
I have an easy pick because it's Pokemon Swords and Shields.
That's fine.
Because I like that it entertained my children, and I like that.
That is the most important thing. Pokemon is a way of life.
Yeah, like it entertained my children. They wanted Sword and Shield. I accidentally called it Pokemon Stars and Stripes, and they thought that was funny. So they were like, "What
that
are
is
you
the most
talking?
mom thing ever."
I was like, "Don't talk about your Pokemon Stars and Stripes." And they're like, "Why does she talk?" Like, but I'm trying. Like, I don't. I try to be cool, mom. I'm really trying.
Wow.
That's my pick is Pokemon Swords and Shields.
You know what? I figure as long as I actually play a game every once in a while with my child, I'm already moving forward compared to what my parents did. My parents, well, I should say my mom. My mom bought us the consoles and the games and everything, but she never actually really played the games with us after I think the first Nintendo system. I think that she only ever played I'm not even going to mention the other console because that'll definitely age me, but yeah, really old consoles. After the Nintendo, she was pretty much done playing. There were too many buttons and things for her. But yeah, so it's I'm already a step forward because I play with my child on a regular basis. Sometimes I play 10-year-old games, and that's fine because she likes the 10-year-old games. So
it's like vintage now, and kids love that.
Games are a way of life.
It should not be vintage after only 10 years. That's
Honey,
what are we?
It's vintage after 6 months.
That's a long time. That's a long time in game.
I know. I feel like
It
6
is.
months is like 3 years in
It
gaming
seems to
culture.
me that the last few years, games have come out on such a consistent basis, almost like every year. It's hard to keep up with a lot of games. It really is. I've talked about this before at other shows and things, and I've talked about this multiple times. There's so many games that I see trailers for in demos and stuff, and I'm like, I really want to get into this. I really want to play it. And then before I get the chance to get around to it, there's like, part 2, part 3, season pass, part 5. And
It's like
I forget
Marvel.
about it. There's so many.
Yeah.
You can't keep track of them all.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you get there and it's like it has become sort of like a Marvel universe thing where you're like, which one do I do first? And is there a like that was literally like, now that you guys just explained to me Mario and you did it in a nice way and you didn't make me feel stupid, and now I know that I can like, oh, okay, because I only ever played the one with the sentient hat because I was like, okay, I understand this one, I don't know what's going on in the other ones. And
Yeah.
but I didn't know that it was like that with everything, and now I
Mhm.
know. And
Yeah.
it's I agree with that, with your sentiment fully. That's very
Yeah.
thoughtful and I like it.
I think the thing is, in terms of gaming,
Mhm.
way back when, I think we've reached a point where games are, especially with, digital purchases and stuff, where game access is easy. Even like 10 years ago, for a lot of people, game access wasn't easy.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, it's still like, I think that's a very intriguing thought. I love whenever we do like these thought things, guys. Like, tell me about your thoughts. But like, just being like how video games have influenced like the world and culture, and being like, wow, how's it shaping it too, and the mirroring of it and the juxtaposition, I can't say the word, but of reality in video games is just very cool. And I like this. I like where you're going, Cozy. Your thought pattern is good. What do games mean? That was me being funny, though.
Oh, no. It's just like, when I think about it, it's like, I think about how I did not have access to a lot of games for a long time. And then I was like, the first time, and I think that's why when I got it, built a PC, and I was like, oh, now I can access these games. It took me years to build a PC because I was like, I started in like 2010, and I slowly would accumulate pieces.
You built
Mhm.
your PC?
I always build my PC. I'm cheap.
You're so cool.
Some people can do that sort of
That's
thing. I mean,
so cool.
I'm just gonna say, I know it sounds like a big task for a lot of people, but I got my sister to build a PC. It really is paint by numbers. And I'm going to tell you the hardest part about messing up, at least for me, I am heavy-handed. I am very heavy-handed. If there's something that can be broken, I can
mhm.
break it. I have, so like my thing with building a PC is always, remember, you can't apply your force because your force is like breaking force. I've broken RAM sticks, I've broken motherboards. I just break things. They just like, it's like they seem like they're sturdy enough, but then they're not. Nowadays they're actually a lot more sturdy than they used to be. It used to be like you just looked at it wrong and you broke it. But
Yeah.
Really? Because I feel the opposite. I feel the opposite in a lot of the tech. Like the controllers are much more fragile now than
oh
they
no, yeah,
used
right
to
about
be.
those. Specifically computer components
Yeah.
are a lot less breakable. But yeah, controllers. I
Yeah.
have a new controller almost every other month. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, good, because I thought that there might be something wrong with me, and I was like, I've had this controller for 3 years, and I feel like it's not working as well.
3 years?
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm not playing a lot right now because my arthritis is super bad, but like, yeah, so yeah, I've had it for 3 years.
Sir
And
X-Men says, is it just me or does Alexa be stupid sometimes? I don't use Alexa. I had one of those stupid things and I don't like that idea of that thing constantly listening in to what's going on in the house. I won't plug it in. I
I'm
don't
so
use
scared of those
Alexa.
things.
I just feel like listen, I've already invited everybody to listen in on my phone calls, read my voicemail, read my chats and everything else. I am not giving you access to listen into my house through a machine on a regular basis.
Yeah.
The whole point of that thing is to listen in all the time. And
Yeah,
that
like,
just something about that makes me uneasy. It's very big brother. And I don't care for that particular thing.
bro, me too. Like, I love technology, but I like to remind people that, every time, like, people will be like, hey, download my app. And I'm like, yeah, so you can track my location. No thanks. And give you all my data. No thanks. Like,
Mhm.
it's a very interesting life we live, because you do want to use technology, but you also don't want to have companies in your business all the time.
Yeah. But Froggy too, right? Well, thank you for joining us. And you do have a point. If you have a phone in your pocket, it's listening just as much. You are correct. I won't
Yeah.
argue with that one. You are absolutely right. However, I can leave my phone in another room and walk away. And I often do because I forget about the thing.
Same.
So, and then also too, I hope that my purse or my pocket kind of muffles it a little bit at times.
I had a flip phone until 2019.
I was so excited when they announced they were bringing the Razor back, and then when I actually saw what Razor, I was like, "Man, this is not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for the indestructible Razor that you could throw to a wall and it would just bounce and leave a dent in the wall." That's
Man,
what
the
I
one where
wanted.
you could like hang up on people and make them feel it.
I had that indestructible Casio, whatever. It's like the hardcore, like they still make it. The thing is, it is a lot more expensive than what I initially had one for, because I had one for ages. It finally gave out because it was like a 5-year-old, like it was no more than 5 years old, but it was an old phone, and it finally gave out, and I was like, let me get another one. And I was like, never mind, I guess I'm gonna be phoneless for a while. And then my friend gave me a free iPhone, so then I was like, yeah.
Then you were like, yeah.
I haven't touched an iPhone since like the second or third generation. I haven't used one since you had to plug it into a computer to do the updates and everything. And that's why I stopped using it, because Samsung came out and they were like, you don't have to plug it in to get your updates. You just get them directly to your phone. And I was like, this is so much easier.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool, but I have an iPhone because it's free.
Yeah. Free phone.
Then I got another free iPhone, so I'm like, yeah.
Samsung makes good stuff too, though. Like, I love the I'm an iPhone girly, because but I can be cute and whatever, like iPhone girly, whatever. But I really do love the Samsung like UX. Sometimes it's really like, I like that you can do a lot of design and do a lot more of what do you want it to look like? How do you want it to feel? I feel like there's a lot more with the display settings than there is with Apple. And
yeah, well, what's funny is Samsung, Apple uses a lot of Samsung's technology in it, and that's what most people don't realize when they're always making fun of, like, oh, you Samsung users. It's like, you guys realize that your programs are from Samsung. Like,
And
Apple just essentially borrowed.
Do you remember whenever T9 texting came out? Not T9, the swipe to text. Because I had a what the heck was this phone? An LG phone.
Oh, that's the biggest travesty, is the loss of the LG phones.
Man, I had an LG phone whenever my daughter was born, and I was like swiping, and I remember just swiping because I would have like a baby right here, and then I'd be like nursing and then just swiping, and I remember the commercials for it, and it was like fastest texting the ever, and now it's like this is on every phone, but that it wasn't even Apple tech when it debuted. So I remember,
LG made amazing phones.
yeah, rad.
I actually just had to get a new phone. I had the Note 10 Plus, I believe. So yeah, I had like a 7, 8-year-old phone. And I loved that phone. And I wasn't planning on getting a new one, but I actually couldn't get a case for it. And the case I had kind of warped, so it wasn't staying on the phone. And then I dropped it and kind of shattered the back. And then I hit it the front and kind of shattered the corner top screen. And I was like, I guess it's time because it stopped the wireless charging. And I was having
Sometimes
issues in
they just
October
get.
with it. Yeah, it was just going downhill. But I stuck with Samsung. I did get another Samsung. I've got the what essentially replaced the Note. It's got the stylus and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
It's essentially the exact same phone with a much better camera. So I'm like, I can't be too upset about it. Looks almost the
Yeah.
exact same.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
oh yeah, Sir Expo makes a good point. It took till this year for the iPhone to switch to the USB-C,
I
which
know.
I can't believe it has taken them that long because they were supposed to stop and
That's-
do that like 7 phones ago.
I mean, they're probably given a date, like, hey, you have to have it done by this, and then they're like, okay, let's push it out as far as possible.
You
But-
know.
I remember they had mentioned at one point that Apple was going to stop changing their charger ports because people were getting so upset about them changing it with every model.
Mhm.
And they were supposed to put it to the USB-C like Samsung had done. And yeah, they came out with whatever it was last time. They're like, yeah, you can buy a whole new charger for it, guys. The whole new set of cords for everything every time you get a phone. It's amazing. We just
Apple has
why
that
would you use this?
Nintendo hold on people. Like
Mhm.
Apple has that. They're like, we know you stupid idiots are gonna pay for this. We're just gonna give it to. Well, we know you're gonna pay for it. We don't even have to
I
do it good.
I think anybody just about, it doesn't matter if you're an Apple or a Samsung or anything else. That's pretty much the equivalent of any phone these days. It's like, we're going to charge you $10,000 for this phone. You're going to buy it. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And no, we're not covering it. And if you break it, yeah, you can have insurance, but it's still going to cost you like $100 on top of the $1,000 a year you pay.
Yeah, they're like, price of living, right? And you're like, yeah.
I'm too cheap.
At least they let you get insurance on these phones now. Because I remember when I had my iPhone, you could not get insurance on it. They did not allow it. It was like, oh, if your phone gets stolen, tough luck. If your phone gets dropped, tough luck. If your phone gets stolen, you could probably find it with your Find My Phone thing, but only if you set it up before you lose it. And and
Only
we can turn
if
it
you
into
plan
a brick.
on losing your phone, will you find it?
We can turn it into a brick for you, but we can't do anything else. I remember that because I actually had it stolen one night.
Sorry, go ahead. I was laughing.
Right? No, I actually I lost my iPhone one time, and I remember I had what I thought was insurance on it, and I went in and I'm like, okay, I lost my phone. I need a new one. And they're like, oh yeah, we can't. Nope, sorry. The insurance just covers like your cracked screen. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, come again? Like, oh yeah, no, we can fix your screen if your screen cracks, but since you lost it, no, you got to buy a whole new phone. I was like, what kind of nonsense is this?
That's like on homeowners insurance, if you own a home, just be wary of a homeowner warranties because they are just ridiculous. They're like, hey, pay this for this in case anything breaks, and then whenever your house inevitably breaks because it's a house, they're like, we don't cover that. And I'm like, why do I pay you for this then? So
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, years ago when Florida had a real rough hurricane come through, State Farm homeowners insurance is not allowed to cover anyone in the state of Florida anymore because a bunch of
oh
people had State Farm homeowners insurance in Florida. And after the hurricane came through, and of course, a bunch of people had homeowner, you have to have homeowners insurance. You really do.
yeah.
And I remember it being a big thing on the news because there was a bunch of damage in Florida from the hurricane. And State Farm was like, well, it's an act of God. We don't cover that.
Oh yeah, active gods are
Sorry about
like
your luck.
I saw
It was so bad. It was so
actually
bad that the government stepped in and was like, you can't do this. They paid for this. You're supposed to cover this. And they were like, nope, we're not going to do it. We're going to fight you the whole way. So Florida just went, you know what? You can't insure anyone in the state of Florida anymore. That's it. So
wow. That's a
be
way to
careful
go.
about your insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Paul makes a point. He says most major companies have pulled out of Florida now. Yeah, they really have because a lot of them don't want to cover acts of God.
It's
Is
ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous that you cannot cover anything. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously within reason, but it's ridiculous that you can just like insurance is a scam.
Oh, sure, it really is. There was also like I saw this thing on your medical records because I do a lot of medical record journalism and shit stuff like that. And I was reading the terms and conditions of a hospital, and it was talking about your data, like your health data, and it said in its terms and conditions of use of this hospital that you forfeit, like if their data stuff gets hacked or anything like that. They were like, it's an act of God, sorry. And I was like, what do you mean? If you don't have good firewalls for your hospital, that's a you problem. This is people's
Yeah.
medical data, but they have that in the terms and of service for the hospital, so they're completely off the hook. And I don't know if people know that, but you really should like look into that because they're putting that into their terms and conditions now because act of God can be used for anything now. That what weird?
That is crazy. It's amazing that the companies can get away with just by putting a little disclaimer in the bottom of their contract and things, their agreement that you have to, and it irritates me so much that you have to agree to all this stuff in order to use certain things. It's like, I shouldn't have to agree to this stuff. I should be able to just use some things without having to agree to all this nonsense. Like, no, you shouldn't have my information for me to, I can't even think of an example right now, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, I mean, they've changed so many things now that you essentially give them permission for everything in your life in order to use it. I mean, there's so many times my daughter will want to download a game on her tablet and Dreadpool's like, no, because they want access to this, this, and this, and they don't need any of that because it's got nothing to do with the game.
Yep.
Why do you want access to email? Why? What do you need to know in my email? What does that have to do with anything? It's not going to interfere with my tablet usage. I don't have to use my email to use my tablet,
When it's like, because a lot of them are the children's like things and stuff like that. And you want your child to be able to play the game, but you don't want your child to be literally tracked by marketing. So
yeah, I mean, there's so many games like we had to ban oh goodness gracious. I can't even think of what game it is right now off the top of my head, but we had to ban it from the house because it's a free game that the kids could play and it was real popular with the kids. I want to say Roblox.
Oh,
but they were getting you with the charging of people. Like you could sign up and buy like Roblox money and all this stuff. And they were slipping that in there and parents were getting charged before they realized what happened.
Oh yeah, gotta get those Robux.
Yeah, I mean, that was so irritating to me. I remember a friend of mine was like, my kid had my phone for like 5 minutes and was playing the game, and I got a notification that I was being charged $10. And she's like, luckily I caught it before it got any higher. but they dupe the kid by buying extra lives and all this other stuff. And it's like,
Wow.
we should be able to lock these without having to lock the game out.
Well,
It's just easier to ban the game in general.
I might actually have to look into that because, um, me and John, my ex-husband, cooperatively co-parent together. And he asked me, he was like, has Lane been buying things on Roblox? And I said, not to my knowledge, he hasn't been. And he said, well, I keep getting some charges to my account. So I might, and I thought that like, oh, it's probably just something, but if it could be like something that's confusing to my son and he thinks that like it's fake and it ends up being real,
Yeah,
that's
and that's the thing.
so.
They don't understand that it's real money coming out.
And my
They
son is
did
smart,
change
like
it.
they're smart kids, but it's confusing.
They did change that particular game, so she is Tiny Giant is allowed to play it now. You can lock your credit card off of that game, at least on the gaming, at least on a system, on a console. As far as like the phone usage, I'm not sure, but on the system, you can lock them out of charging money to where at least they changed that, thankfully, so she can play that now. Because I mean, it's like you said, it's hard when the kid wants to play a game that everybody else is playing, and you're like, no.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Cozy, do you remember growing up and just wanting to be a part of culture? Like in general, just wanting, I don't know, or deaf. Do you like just remember being like, oh, I want to know what people are talking about and at least watch whatever it was? For me, like back in the day, it was, like the Nickelodeon things, like the award shows. And every time there was a Nickelodeon or an MTV award show, I'd feel like I was left out of the loop because I didn't have cable. So I didn't know what had happened, and everybody was at school talking about it. And I was like, "Did you walk Sesame Street? I don't know." And like literally, because I didn't have cable, and it was it was very like isolating, and I don't want that for my children. So
Yeah, no, I get it. That was something that did get as a child. That was something I also experienced from time to time was, I couldn't watch the thing that everybody was watching, whether it be because we didn't get that channel or we were busy watching, my mom wanted to watch something else at that time. But yeah, I think all kids have that FOMO. It's still a thing that I think everybody's experienced at least a few times. I mean, I did a lot of babysitting, so I missed a lot of parties when I was growing up. A lot of hangout time with my friends because I was busy babysitting my siblings. So yeah, I get that a lot. Absolutely.
I was definitely too much of a nerd to even bother. Like, so I didn't really enjoy peers. Like, I was always like that kid that just wanted to hang out with the old people.
I was one of those kids that like wanted to be a part of the world that everybody was in, but I just couldn't fit into it. Like
that makes sense. That really makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the chat is not wrong. I mean, Sir X says people always forget to put a passcode on their accounts for their kids so they can't buy anything. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That is one thing I hear a lot of parents forgetting to do is putting passcodes on their cards and things. It's like, I don't know how you can't notice $1,000 before it hits. That's always baffled me. But then again, having lived through a $10 charge myself out of nowhere, I can kind of get it at the same time. Oh man.
The thing is, I guess I never it's not something I'll ever have to worry about. So I don't know. All my stuff is like I put 2-factor authentication on everything anyway. So like you'd have to know my passcode and then it would trigger like to get to the sale, and then it would trigger like, hey, you have to go to check your email to purchase anything.
Yeah. I used to always put extra passwords on my things so before you could buy them because I was always afraid I'd accidentally buy things. That was always something I was always concerned of myself when that technology first started coming through, especially with the ringtones. Anybody who had a cell phone in the early 2000s bought those 99-cent ringtones, those $2 ringtones.
I remember getting in so much trouble because I literally spent $50 on ringtones one month. And my mom and dad took my phone from me because obviously, but I didn't
Mhm.
realize that I had bought like ringtone. And my parents were like, you know what? You spent $50 this month. And I was like, doing what? And they're like, I don't know, buying something called ringtones. And it was the real, buying something called ringtones. And it was like, really funny at the time because my parents were like, why would you waste $50 on ringtones? And now knowing me, I'm like, why would I waste $50 on ringtones?
When you think back, you're like, I wouldn't pay 5 cents for a ringtone now. I don't even want to hear my phone ring half the
I know.
time.
I was like, I really needed you to hear. I
What do
needed
you-
everybody to hear "Carry On My Way," "Carry On My Wayward Son" on my Nokia phone at one point. So it was literally down, 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 and I was like, "Yeah, I need to spend $5 on this
Wow.
immediately." Like, no, you don't. You're a dumb lady. But
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
18-year-old me in the 2000s. I'm sorry.
Wow.
We
Paul
had a
made his own ringtones, he says. Well,
oh
not all
yeah.
of us could do that.
I made some at one point, and like I had bypassed iTunes at one point, and it was like the biggest joy of my life. And then
Mm.
they quickly fixed that, and I could only do so much because I was just not that smart. So, but ringtones forever, man. Now it's
Oh
like
yeah.
you'll have your phone on silent. You never want to hear it again.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Although I do have actually on my phone, I have a few different ringtones that I've had for years at this point, and it's always hysterical because one of them's a witch's cackle, and it is very high pitched and it is very much a witch cackle. And I have it on my phone so that way when it does go off, I know exactly that it's my phone and I can always hear it no matter where I'm at and things. And it's gone off in doctors' offices and things and startled people. And I've had someone look at me and she was like, "Was that your phone?" I was like, "Yeah, that's my phone." She's like, "That's an interesting ringtone." I'm like, "Well, I've got to be able to hear it all the time." So
No, you should be like, thanks, just bought it. Like like the what's that dang old Ariana Grande song? Sorry, I'm being old.
oh,
Never mind.
thanks, I just bought it.
Yeah, you should do that and be like, and then people will be like, why are you referencing a 5-year-old song? And you'll be like, because I'm a mom, and then walk off like you're all that. Do that. Do that for me.
Oh, it's funny. Next time someone mentions it, I will. Yeah, it's always noticeable because it's either the witch's cackle or I have zombie groans.
Oh my god.
So that's always fun to listen to watch people kind of look around and like, what is that? Where is that
What
coming
the?
from? Meanwhile, I'm sitting
Yeah.
there like, you'll never guess.
You'll never guess. What is
I'll
this?
never tell.
Put it on.
Fortnite is the worst for spending your parents' money. Yeah, that game has been banned in my house for quite a while. Dreadpool is about the only person who's allowed to play that game in my house. I'm not a fan of Fortnite, and it's not necessarily because of the money issue. It's because of those stupid dances in the game, and the fact that, like, when the year that game came out, every teenager, or well, preteen, teenager, and young adult that came through our haunted trail stopped to do those stupid dances in front of us. And I'm like, I'm so tired of this BS. If I have to see one more idiot doing like, the Carlton or something, I'm going to lose my mind. No, we're not doing that in my house.
Okay, here's the thing though. That's what I got so mad about was that I do the Carlton like because that was just my life. And then my children started being like, "Hey, mommy, you're doing that move from the Fortnite dance, like a Fortnite dance," and I was like, "Excuse me, honey, it's not
That's
a
kids for
Fortnite
you.
dance. Like it happened before Fortnite. Check your facts." Like,
I mean, that happens a lot, like where something becomes its own thing, even though it's like referenced from something.
I
Oh,
know.
well, wasn't there that song not too long ago that a bunch of the Gen Z was like, "Oh my God, Post Malone put on," I think it was Post Malone, put on, did something really amazing for Ozzy Osbourne. It's that Ozzy Osbourne guy. And I'm like, oh God. Okay, we've obviously lost the plot if we don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is. I mean, even if
mean-
you've never heard the music, I'm pretty sure he's just a noticeable, recognizable guy in
Yeah.
general.
But I mean, but you know, he's not. It's like, you know, I know what I'm saying is what happens is that is something, you know, eventually something becomes just so old and
Irrelevant.
that it's not relevant anymore. That
But
just happens.
I would have figured, honestly, I mean, that show of the Osbournes was on for ages, and then
But that
Sharon
was a
and his
long time
daughter do a
ago.
bunch of shows. Yeah,
Kids
yeah,
weren't
that's true.
watching those people.
That's true. That might
Because honestly, I only have a vague recollection of what Ozzy Osbourne looks like.
be.
Actually, I know what Sharon Osbourne looks like, but I don't have I have a vague recollection. And if you put him in a lineup of people that kind of look similar, I would not know which one was him.
Oh.
You know what? That's actually terrifying because I think you're right. Like, oh my God, what if we put people that were just impersonators in like a line of actual people? And could you tell? Like, could you tell? Because I don't know if I could.
Well, you know, spooky is I was talking to my eldest daughter's friend the other day about music. I mentioned Guns N' Roses, and two of them said, "Who's Guns N' Roses?" And I said, "Get off my lawn." Yeah, I probably would have said the same thing. I've made
Get off
mention
my
to my child. She oh good Lord, what was it? She confused Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, and I looked at her, I was like, "Get out of my house! Get out of my house!"
Disowned. Oh my
But
God, we got off
Aw.
topic.
the Macarena's not in that game already? I thought it was. I could have sworn they did the Macarena in that game already. But maybe it's best they don't. That dance was not not difficult, but not great either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why do I know it still? Do you know it still? We just did it
Mhm.
mentally, didn't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I could do that dance all day, every day.
Okay, it wasn't really a dance. It was just kind of like a cheer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like it was like a cheer that everybody did. Yeah.
Paul says it is in there. Yeah, they did put the Macarena in there.
Ah, God bless it. Is the Soldier Boy in there? When the Soldier Boy makes it, that's whenever we'll know.
Is
it in there? If it's in there.
Spooky. I don't know how she confused the two, considering Michael Myers is my favorite and she knows that. And I've got Michael Myers stickers all over my house, my car. I've got multiple Halloween shirts. I mean, I do have some Jason Voorhees stuff too. And I think how she confused the two, honestly, is because she's never actually seen the movies yet. I haven't let her watch them just yet because she still is only 10. We're holding off a little longer. She's been allowed to watch horror movies, but it's very selective on what I let her watch per se. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff are just too much right now. She's watched like a lot of Vincent Price movies. I love Vincent Price movies. And of course, if it's in black and white, my personal opinion is as long as it's in black and white and it's, over 30 years old, it's pretty much guaranteed safe. And there's nothing in there that she can't see. Because if it's an old black and white movie, there's a guarantee there's no sex scenes in it. There's not really any cussing in it. And your gore is kind of limited in there as well. So that's my only guess is how she confused the two. Although once I called her out on it, she was real quick to remember that after that. So she's real good on knowing who they are.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But that's funny.
I really don't know what my third pick is going to be for Nintendo. I know what it is.
Okay. What?
Oh,
I don't know if it counts.
Okay.
Nintendogs?
yes.
Okay. That's my pick is Nintendogs. That was one of the
Nintendogs.
best games ever.
Definitely underrated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, underrated. Like, I loved that game. And imagine what that game meant for people who couldn't have pets. Like, if you had allergies, or if just your parents didn't want you to have pets, you could have a Nintendog. And I didn't have a Nintendo or any of like that stuff, but my friends did. And so then I would have
Mhm.
Nintendogs at their houses. My neighbor had one of my Nintendogs. And so I would go to her house and take care of my Nintendog. So that's mine is Nintendogs.
Oh yeah.
I like dogs. That's it. That's my personality. So yeah, that's my Nintendo pick. And we've done I did my 3 and I made it through.
Did I? I don't remember.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, Paul, at her age, I was watching Alien and stuff, but we're different. We're different. I was already going to haunted houses as well at her age. And like I told her, she's a different person than I was at her age. I was, well, movies weren't as graphic either back when I was her age. I mean, Alien was probably one of the more graphic movies I saw around that time, other than like, Friday the 13th and the Halloween series. But and movies were a lot different back then. Kids were built different too. We were built different.
That was
My
because
daughter says built different so much. Sorry, that's why I laughed. You're built different.
it was a different time.
It really was.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it too is we were kind of I'm not even sure how to put it. I guess it'd kind of be more along the lines of our parents were kind of like, you can watch it, but you're going to deal with the consequences and you're going to just have to live. And whereas now we're kind of like, maybe that's not the best idea. We'll just try and save some trauma and some future therapy lessons.
They didn't.
Guess
I
what?
wasn't. I watched whatever I wanted. Like there was no like deal with the consequences or anything. It was just like watch what you want. I mean, I do remember like it'd be annoying because my sister, we would get in trouble sometimes because my older sister, she was chicken. She was chicken, and she everything like she got nightmares and from everything, and it was like you ruin the fun.
That's me. Hi, I'm your older sister that can't tell that dinosaurs aren't real.
Oh, that's funny. That's too funny.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess we shall move on to our last game decisions then.
I already did mine.
Wait,
Nintendogs was mine.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, Nintendo.
I don't think I ever did.
You did your 2.
What was my second one? I don't remember.
Oh shit, you didn't.
It's fine. I
Do
don't
you-
need a
I'll go
third.
for your second.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Dylan's Rollin' Western.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's like this silly tower defense Western game, like a tower defense action game. And you play an armadillo named Dylan.
Oh, that's funny.
And I had an insane amount of fun with it.
What's it titled?
Dylan's Rollin' Western.
Dylan. Dylan's
Yeah.
rolling. Oh my god. This is so adorable.
Sir X-Men says Rygar is my favorite Nintendo game. Can't argue with that.
Oh, I do have a third one actually. Never mind.
Okay,
Rygar.
go ahead, shoot. Go for your
My
third.
third one is Elite Beat Agents. So as much as I like Rhythm Heaven, I think we will never get a more perfect rhythm game than Elite Beat Agents.
Elite.
It is like you should. I really need to set up my 3DS and stream it so that people can see exactly what this game is. Because, well, no, you can't even stream it because the music is all like copyrighted, whatever.
I'm
but
looking
yeah,
at it right now.
yeah, you play like you're part of like there's like these 3 agents and like you're helping save like people from like awful situations, and and each one would begin like some awful situation would happen, and then the leader of the 3 agents would be like, "Agents are go!" And then it would be like little comic book style clips playing to some like real pop tune that real pop music. And my favorite one was this one where this boy goes to play basketball, and his dog goes with him, and his dog falls asleep in the back of a truck and ends up out in the middle of nowhere and has to get home. And so the better you play it, the better the comic turns out. The worse you play it, the worse the comic turns out.
Okay.
And it's just like, and the thing is, most of them were goofy, but one of them was just sad, and I was never understood why. Like most of them were just super goofy. Like the one with Leonardo da Vinci, like dating Mona Lisa in a contemporary world, but still like old timey. And most of them were just so ridiculous. But there's this one, and I just every time I had to play through it, I was just like, why? It's like it was just sad and no happy ending. It was like this guy goes on a business trip and dies in a plane crash, and like. But no,
welcome to an Alanis Morissette song, you guys.
So yeah,
isn't it ironic?
Yeah.
So in the context of the game, all the others were like quite goofy, and then this one happens, and I'm just like, what? Because there's this crazy, amazing one that also is like aliens coming to attack Earth, and it's just goofy and dumb and doesn't make sense at all. But this one was just like sad, and I just remember being like, wow, they really just were like, you need some sadness in your life, and we're gonna just throw it in the game. But Elite Beat Agents.
Here, have some trauma.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
That's too funny.
That's an interesting. Is it sort of is the beatness sort of like Parappa the Rapperness?
It's you might be able to use like it's a DS game, so you might be able to use like the buttons, but I really use the stylus.
So it's like tapping though, like with a beat kind of thing. Okay, cool. I really think beat games are neat because they really do teach music theory if you think about it. So
Sir X-Men wants to know if you've ever played Pepper the Reaper.
Parappa.
Who's
Parappa?
Parappa the Rapper. What's Parappa the Reaper?
Rapper, yeah, sorry. Rapper, Reaper, same difference.
Yeah, yes, I am.
I like
that was like that's gonna be my go-to phrase. That was the most mom thing I ever heard. But yes, I think that was probably the first rhythm game I ever played, and I'm a really huge fan of rhythm games. I think that's like one of those things where I don't listen to music, but I really love rhythm games. So yeah.
They're so fun. They're so fun, and like they really do teach. If you end up doing percussion, or even if you are a singer, you need to know how to keep beat, and you need to know how to basically like. There's a difference between listening and doing when it comes to music.
Yeah.
So you have to, like as you play a beat game, you have to be like, okay, yeah, it's gonna go here, and it really does get you to think mathematically. and that's a
Mm.
neat thing. I like Parappa the Rapper, but I think we should patent that, Death Dealer, Parappa the Reaper. Patent it.
What?
Parappa the Reaper. That's so death.
Oh, that's not what I heard. Never mind.
Oh, Reaper, like death.
Oh, Lord.
I understand now. I understand now. I understand now. I'm sorry. I was just like, that seemed kind of like out of character to say, and I was just like, what? Now I
Yeah, the Reaper, like Grim Reaper. I don't think I'm gonna speak anymore. I'm done.
That's funny. All right. Mr. X says, that's why I still play Rock Band. I have all of them. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Rock Band was a good game. Rock Band was an amazing game.
Boss.
They should come out with an updated version for the new consoles. Absolutely. We talked about this on Iconic Video Games. I think it was last week. We discussed that they should bring out a new uh,
so
Rock Band game or something. Guitar Hero.
The best Final Fantasy game is Theater Rhythm, and that is a rhythm game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of that one.
There's a Final Fantasy rhythm game?
Yeah, Theater Rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
What the? I'm immediately looking this up right now.
Yeah, you it's kind of similar to Rock Band. You have to play the music. You're supposed
Final
to
Fantasy is also known for such amazing music and like the score.
Yeah, that's why it was a lot of people like that one because it is the soundtrack for the games. But my final choice is going to be Kirby.
Oh no!
Did she leave? Oh my god. Death, no! Cozy, are you here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Are we still live? I think Death just... Oh yeah, we're still live.
You're still alive.
Yeah, we are still
But
live.
she said Kirby and then she's gone.
I can't look in chat because...
No!
No, it's just us! Shiz! Death! And she left us like with a cliffhanger too.
You know, it's Kirby.
There she goes.
I dropped myself out. Sorry, guys.
Yay!
wrong button and exited out. I was like, I hope I didn't just kill the whole
You
script.
said the best
You
game
did
ever,
awesome. And then you just disappeared. You talked about Kirby.
I hit the
You
wrong
rock.
button.
Okay.
It's okay.
Welcome back. Welcome
Good.
back.
You did it. You got back and you didn't even stop the stream, bro. You're like a pro now. Like
You said Kirby and then we're gone. And it was sad.
we were just like so.
But
Tell
yeah, Epic
us.
Yard is a great game. I love this game. Dreadpool bought me this game on the I think it was the original Wii that I had it on, or the Wii U. And I loved it because I didn't know it existed when he gave it to me. And I was like, this is the most amazing game, because he's actually like a little yarn ball, and it's slightly different from some of the other Kirby games because everything's made out of yarn in this world. So instead of just like, exploding or things, you kind of disappear into like strands of yarn.
Oh.
You can swing from things, and like like right here, you've got your little flower guy. That's Kirby swinging off of a flower. He like throws his little leash at it, and he just swings off of things. So it's a cute game. It's an adorable game, and it's entertaining as all get out. So if you can play it, I recommend you check it out because it's a cool game. It was always fun.
Is it on like
Kirby?
Is it on Wii? I mean, oh god. What's that thing that the people play on now? Can you get it on the Switch?
I think you can.
Huh,
I wouldn't. Oh, here we go. It's one of the questions people asked. Yeah, actually released. Oh, wait. Oh, nope. It's not on the Switch yet. it isn't on the Switch yet. So
Well, I'm gonna watch
some
some
Well,
gameplay.
Yoshi's Woolly World has a similar aesthetic, and I really like it.
Yeah, that is a fun game too.
But yeah, I love all Kirby games. There's not a Kirby game that I'm like, I don't like this. I think because I just really love Kirby as a character. He just makes me happy on the inside.
Is Kirby a Pokemon?
No, Kirby.
Mm-mm.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I feel so. I had a coworker, and her favorite thing to do was to upset me by calling Kirby Jigglypuff.
Oh,
And she knew, like, I would fly off the handle. Like, I wouldn't be like, "You're wrong." I wouldn't like be aggressive about it. She just noticed, like, the way I just like flinched, like the first time she said it. Like, and she was joking the first time she said it, but she said it in such a serious tone that if we hadn't been friends, I would have known that I wouldn't have known that she was joking. But I knew other people didn't know she was joking. But I was like, And then after that, she would just mess with me by saying it, and I was just like, oh god.
So I thought he was a Pokemon though, for real. I didn't know he wasn't.
He's amazing. That's what he is.
So is he like a Mario?
He's a guardian of Dreamland.
So he's got his own thing. He's like
Yeah.
his own. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
One of my favorite things about Kirby is like one of the games called Planet Robobot. They have a level that is Western themed, but it's also food. It's like the game has a lot of food themed stuff, and like it's like also spaghetti themed.
A spaghetti Western?
Yes, and I was just
But
like,
it's literal? That's adorable.
yeah.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard. I love it.
Hey, Timmy. Nice to see you.
Hey! Look at these
Timmy.
buddies. The buddies.
I always think of Cartman. Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love South Park. I used to love that show. The movie's amazingly hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. Super incorrect and inappropriate, but hilarious.
Layla's on her edgelord kick, and she's really into South Park right now. So, yeah.
I mean, what kid was not into South Park?
She's in her South Park era.
Nice. I can't
Yeah.
even disagree with that's a good topic. That's a good spot to be in because I always laugh, and with South Park, I always loved it because nothing was ever off limits to make fun of. Everything was equally made fun of across the board, and that's why I liked it because they were never picking on one particular person or a fad or something. It was everything was up for grabs to be made fun of.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. It's equal hate all around.
Yeah, that is a good thing about, I guess that would be a good quality of South Park, is that, you know what, they really don't like anybody. So, I mean, if you exist, you're gonna get it from South Park. So, but that's a good way to be, as in, like, it's better to be that than nothing. I mean, than to be like one way. So, I like it, I guess. It's just interesting watching my daughter watch South Park because it's like something I wasn't allowed to watch and I still haven't watched. So I'm like, what is this?
Oh, that's funny. That's
so we're
funny.
watching it together, and I'm like, sort of like, I don't know. I'm like her, like the watcher that just kind of, I'm there for explaining things. Like, it's a weird.
You have to explain some of the cultural references because they're outdated now at this point, and they don't like the making fun of Paris Hilton. Kids don't know about that particular plot of her past with the videotape per se. So that episode where they're making fun of her with that'll go right over the kid's head. They're like, I don't understand why we're making fun of this Paris person. I don't understand any. And it's like, well, it's not culturally relevant anymore. So,
yeah.
Your X-Men Kyle's mom. I used to love that song. I'm not even gonna lie. I walked around singing that song for ages. I knew it, the whole thing almost by heart. And Cosmo's a bitch. She's a big fat bitch. She's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world.
I don't like how good
like
you are at doing that voice.
Screw you guys. I'm doing him.
Yeah. Wow.
And you,
I can do Cartman well. He's about the only one I could do, actually, though. Anybody
That
else?
was a really good voice, though. Like, legit.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Timmy, I'm sorry. Woke up for work for early to start. Oh gosh, you got to work at 5:45 and it's 3 and you woke up at 3 a.m. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I'm so sorry.
We're like, oh, God.
Big time difference there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, here, I got it.
aw.
Oh, ow. My knees. Oh, my knees.
Oh,
I'm
Pet
just so-
Cemetery episode is hilarious. Yeah, I got to agree. My dream episode when they did Pet Cemetery. That was
Oh
funny.
yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, here we go. Sorry. I have to change something.
I like the episode. I mean, it's a newer episode, like not when we were young, but I like the anime episode.
Mm-hmm. I like the I think it's Lord of the Rings when they go on the adventure for the rings. That one always cracks me up.
I think I do like the one. I have seen this one. Oh God, I've seen like my two favorite ones are the. I do love the character Tally whenever they do like for what was it? It's like a intervention for Towley.
Mhm.
Do you remember that one? And it's really funny. I don't know. It was they did an
I think
intervention.
they've done a couple. I think they've done a couple intervention episodes, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can recall that one exactly. I remember watching like 2 intervention episodes, and I can't even remember what they were exactly about anymore. It's been so long.
God, it was
But yeah, old South Park was amazing, much funnier.
yeah. Ah, the days. Look at us. We did it.
Woohoo! You
Yeah.
always do it.
We always do it. We doing it
Yeah.
out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Kirby streets.
Doing it and doing it and doing it.
Well, I think we've all done. We've all pretty much
Wait,
done
did
3,
you?
right?
Yeah, you did. You gave us Kirby.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
And
did
then I
3.
All right. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for logging in and joining us. We appreciate you, especially in the chat, going back with us.
Yeah.
Awesomely.
Our sweet chat. Like, seriously, thank you to the chat. They're so sweet, and we love everybody that comes by or watches us whenever it's not
Yeah.
live. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes. Yes, thank you so much. And don't forget to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you should.
For real. Like, why would you not? Why would you not?
Yeah. And you can always find us on Twitter. We're all there.
Yeah. I like doing this kind of goodbye better because I don't like to just shout out my random crap sometimes.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
It's like, yeah, we're here. We out here.
We out.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for logging on. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. And Timmy, have a wonderful day at work. I'm sorry you
We
have to
love
be
you,
up so
Timmy. We're
early.
sorry.
I'm so sorry you have to be up
Timmy!
early.
We're sorry. We're with you in spirit, Timmy.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, that'll be it for our show this week. And we hope to see you again next week. And in the meantime, you can find us all on Twitter and pretty much anywhere you can find and spell our names. If we have an account there, you'll find us.
Woo woo.
So don't forget to give the video a like so the YouTube algorithm picks it up and shares it out because, you know, that's always a good thing.
Sharing is caring.
Yes, ma'am.
With that all being said, though, we appreciate you all. And I'm Death Dealer.
I'm a hot mama.
And I'm Cozy Beluga.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Later,
Bye.
taters.
Bye.
Tater.
Bye.